Is being an ordinary person a bad thing? In today's world, being ordinary is often seen as being inadequate. Society tells us we must be exceptional to have value, and this pressure pushes people to reject ordinariness. The show Rick and Morty explores this idea through Jerry, a character many fans dislike for being plain and weak. Jerry represents the average person. He has a failing career, struggles to gain his family's respect, and is often dismissed by others. Yet Jerry keeps trying. Despite his shortcomings, he constantly seeks to prove himself and earn his family's love. Jerry's struggles reflect the modern individual's battle against the demand for perfection. His character contrasts sharply with Rick, a nihilistic genius. While Rick questions everything and embraces chaos, Jerry is a simple, faith-driven man who avoids overthinking. His failures often aren't even his fault, yet he's ridiculed for them. But does being ordinary truly make Jerry a failure? Rick and Jerry represent two extremes, yet they aren't entirely incompatible. In one episode, when their minds merge, they work surprisingly well together. This suggests that rather than being polar opposites, they complement each other, like two halves of the same whole. Ordinariness and uniqueness may seem like opposites, but they're often intertwined. Striving too hard to be unique can become its own form of conformity, while embracing ordinariness can bring freedom. Rick frequently belittles Jerry, calling him a loser and a failure. Yet, Rick himself is far more miserable. Jerry, despite his flaws, finds moments of peace and meaning. He values his family, fights for them, and seeks happiness in small everyday things. Rick, with all his intelligence, struggles to connect with others or find joy. His nihilistic worldview isolates him, making him deeply unhappy. Jerry's ordinariness represents his humanity. He finds meaning in his family, even when those relationships are imperfect. He fails often but never gives up, which makes him more resilient than Rick. Rick's genius, on the other hand, alienates him. He rejects meaning and mocks those who search for it, yet this cynicism only deepens his emptiness. Jerry's willingness to keep trying despite his failures is what makes him relatable, and perhaps even admirable. As the series progresses, Jerry's life becomes enviable to other characters. Despite his flaws, he has a purpose. Rick, lost in purposelessness, spirals further into despair.
Do you think if God existed, he could do it? The answer is no! If God exists, it's fucking me!
Yes, Rick, I agree, Rick.
Jerry's ability to balance happiness and sadness makes him a more grounded character. His life may be simple, but it's far more peaceful and meaningful than Rick's chaotic existence. This raises an important question. Do we need to be extraordinary to be happy? Or does happiness lie in accepting our ordinariness? Jerry's simple life, though often mocked, seems more fulfilling than Rick's. While Jerry is labelled a failure, he doesn't lose himself in nihilism like Rick. Rick's constant need to prove his superiority stems from insecurity. He believes he knows everything, but this knowledge becomes a prison. His genius forces him to always stay ahead, leaving him exhausted and trapped. Jerry, in contrast, has no such burden. He accepts his flaws and even laughs at them, which makes him freer than Rick. Jerry's simplicity allows him to live without the pressure of perfection. He does what he can and moves on when he fails. Rick, however, is crushed by his own intellect, unable to enjoy life. Jerry's ordinariness grants him a freedom Rick can never have. Perhaps this is why Rick looks down on Jerry, because he envies the one thing he can't achieve: a simple, meaningful life.